You're watching the Nation Network with your host, Vince McSham. And there we go. Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the channel. It is once again time for WrestleChat. We're going to talk about some of the things going on in the world of professional wrestling at this point in time, and it's a decent week. There's actually a little bit of everything to choose from. Going to cover some of the action from Raw. We're going to talk about some behind-the-scenes stuff that's been going on and injuries and things like that. So, with all that ready to go, I put a link in the chat box where if you want to jump on the stream, you can join us. Going to keep everything rolling along quickly, trying to get this done in 30 minutes or so. So we'll see how good we can do with that. So in the meantime, let's move things right along, bring in my cohort, my sidekick, my partner in crime, if you will, the one, the only J-Rocks.
What's up, everybody?
Say hi, Jay.
Hi, Jay.
All right. Now that we got the festivities out of the way, already an entertaining week in professional wrestling. Monday Night Raw was a good show. We already talked about that a little bit. And, of course, last night was SmackDown. And we're going to get to that. But before we get there, we're going to start someplace else here. So let me get this all queued up and bring it in. Because SmackDown, we saw a lot of stuff that happened in front of the cameras. But there's stuff that happened behind the cameras that we didn't necessarily see. And it's pretty newsworthy, really. Case in point, there we go. Nick Aldis was backstage and is currently being tried out as a, not a booker, but an agent. So, nice. Yes. And I'm thinking to myself, if that works out, then it would make sense that they might bring Mickey as an agent for the women.
Yeah.
You know, that would be pretty interesting backstage couple right there, especially doing the agent role. What are your thoughts on all this as an agent?
I've always liked him as a wrestler. I mean, he's always been excellent in the ring. So I think that's one aspect that you need to look at when you're looking at agents. He knows what it means to put a match together, what the guys and girls go through. So I think he'd be a great fit as an agent.
I do too. A little disappointed he's not going to, and who knows, it could all change that he might get a match somewhere along the lines, even if it's only a one-off.
Right.
But I'm kind of hoping to see him actually in the ring at some point in the WWE and see what they can do with him.
I always wanted to see him and Barrett go one-on-one, actually.
Yeah, and I feel like Wade Barrett still has something left to do.
Yeah.
I saw him doing the commentary as they unveiled his DLC entrance for the video game.
Right.
Which I think is this week sometime.
Yeah, it should be this Wednesday. It should come out.
Oh, okay. Well, there you go. So it's like the DLC from hell. Nobody really cares about it.
Right.
It's, I mean, not for nothing. It's just, yeah, it is what it is.
I mean, other than Barrett, I mean, there's really nobody of real note in it. I mean, you got Andrew Chase, you got Damian Kemp, and you've got, I can't even think of her name now.
Oh, Ivy. Not Ivy. What's her name?
Eve Torres.
Eve
Torres.
I'm like, why?
Yeah, exactly.
Whatever. And these other names, I only saw, and I've already forgot his name. That I think you just threw it out there. But the NXT guy with the blonde hair, who I saw for the first time this week on NXT.
No, that's Tyler.
He was with Tyler Bates, I believe.
He
was with him, like they're buddies or something, I guess.
He's Andrew Fraser. Andrew Fraser is the last one. Yeah, he's the one with the blonde hair.
Until this week, I didn't even see him. I didn't know who he was.
Right.
So I'm not losing any sleep over this one. That's for sure. Not worried about being up at midnight or anything. It don't do me no goods. All right, let's say hello to some people. We already heard from Andrew at Prime Time's in the house. Roy W's in the house. Dwight's here. And bang, 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 bang. I think that's everybody. And we'll try and get your comments up here as quickly as possible. Nick Aldis should be wrestling for the E. I agree. I mean, even if he only does like a 6-month run and then goes to being an agent,
right?
I would just like to see him in a ring. So, and we might get that. I mean, we've seen authority figure. I mean, hell, Briscoe and Patterson were still getting in the ring back in the Attitude Era when they were in their 60s. So it could happen.
Right.
So here's hoping anyway. All right. Like I said, we do need to keep this thing moving quickly, but right now in the wings, we got someone to bring on board. Let's see what he's got to offer us tonight. Wrestling Purist.
Hopefully with a shirt. Hey, he's got a shirt.
Wearing a shirt, otherwise it wouldn't
a shirt. What about last week? You didn't think I saw you last week?
Stay on topic. So we're talking about all this. Did you know about him being an agent?
Who?
Thank you for playing. Yes. Are you paying attention to the show at all, buddy?
Well, it's not like, look, I stopped paying attention to Impact a long time ago, but
no, I mean this show right now. We've been talking about it for 10 minutes.
No, I just saw it now. I mean, I was working on that piece. I'm working on the comic, on the first chapter of my comic, which should start this month.
All right, you're gonna kill my time.
I understand what you mean. Nick Aldis has all the potential to become a champion somewhere. If he decides to land somewhere. Probably not AEW.
Dude, you missed all right, we'll get back to you. Hang on. You missed the entire segment, buddy. He's already somewhere. He's in the WWE as an agent. That's what we're talking about right now. That will be his if he gets the job, that'll be his run. He won't be wrestling anymore.
So was he trying out then on Raw this week?
SmackDown last night. And Primetime brings up a good point, too. Brian Pillman Jr. signing with the E. Supposed to be going to NXT is correct. Last I heard is they are waiting on him to pass his medicals, which no reason to think he won't. But that's the last I've heard about that. All right.
Both of these I hadn't heard anything about. So
well, that's why we call it WrestleChat.
That's right.
Hell, we talked about it for 10 minutes and Pure still hadn't heard about it. If you think I'm not going to take shots after that, you got to be kidding me. Of course I'm going to take shots on it. All right, we'll be back with our next segment in just a moment. Don't go away.
It's time to grab your popcorn and your soda. Get your favorite candy. And get ready because we are going to the movies. We're going to be watching and reviewing some of the most iconic movies featuring superstars of the world of professional wrestling. Will it be thumbs up or thumbs down? We'll give you our thoughts. You give us yours. Come check us out as we review some of the greatest titles in its genre. Make sure you check out the Nation Network as we take you to the movies.
I don't know what just happened there. Holy cow. This thing, I tell you, man, I'm not sure what I pay all this money a month for because this thing isn't so reliable. Hold on.
I was going to say, you just had it on the screen.
Yeah, and it should have just gone straight back from the commercial break. Look at this loading thing. Why is it fucking loading? All it's supposed to do is just pop on the other screen, which it did earlier. You monkey piece of shit. Now
there we go.
Anyway, StreamYard leaves a lot to be desired for $25 a month. That's all I'm saying. So let's talk about injuries. Sonya Deville had some video up of her after her surgery. She had the ACL tear, if you're not familiar with that.
Right.
And I'm not saying that the tag team titles are cursed, but they're cursed. Don't touch them. Don't wear them. Don't want them. Chelsea, Get rid of the motherfucker as fast as you can. Don't pick another tag team partner, although that's what's happening. Just give that son of a bitch back and say thank you so much for the opportunity.
Well, you got to think about it. 3 out of the 4 of them are injured. Raquel's injured, Liv's injured, and Sonya's injured. Chelsea's the only one out of the 4 that's not, and she should be like, I'm good.
And let's not forget how they get vacated in the first place, just walking off and hand the titles back. So, I mean,
right.
This is really having a Babe Ruth Red Sox kind of effect now. And everybody that wears them gets to be Bill Buckner.
Because I was just thinking today, I'm like, and we haven't seen Fire Isla Dawn since they merged the titles. It's like, I don't know. I think they should. I'm not saying get rid of the women's tag division, but get rid of the belts and just let them tag.
Maybe make
and
new belts.
be
Maybe it's just the belts that are the jinx.
It could be. They're making belts for everybody else, so they might as well make 2 new sets of tag belts, one for the men and women's.
And honestly, I think they should go back to NXT having their own tag team champions in the women's division.
I agree.
So anyway, Sonya was on. She's got the leg immobilized, of course, with one of those splint type devices, and she can't leave the hospital until she can put weight on it. She's on a walker currently, and she was not putting weight on it, which. As a former basketball coach, I dealt with several ladies that had blown out their ACLs and helped them with their rehabs and stuff like that. So I know the amount of pain that goes with that. And it's not a fun recovery process at all. A lot of pain involved. So she's a tough girl. She's going to do it. She'll be back. But that's one of those 6 month to 8 month injuries, and there's just no shortcutting it. There's no John Cena getting past the ACL thing. That's one of those things that it takes the time.
Yeah.
Roy says those 3 wrestlers that were mentioned are my favorite dealers that got injured. Oh, there you go. So understandable. All right, we're going to try this again. See if he was paying attention this time. Purist.
I paid attention a lot. You want my opinion?
Let's try the second time.
You want my opinion? Just remember the WWE 24/7 title? Just like that.
Yeah.
Scrap those belts. No, really, scrap those belts. I don't know what's the point of them living.
Not having a women's tag team champions?
Look, but
those belts, if you're saying those particular title belts going away, that's one thing. But I don't know. It almost sounds like you're saying get rid of the tag team championship, like there shouldn't be one.
I know, but what do you expect me to say? I mean,
well, I'm asking you, which are you saying? Are you saying get rid of those particular belts that are jinxed, or to get rid of tag team champions in the women's division?
I mean, if they're not going to use the tag teams that they've got, I mean, they've got Kaden Carter and Katana Chance that they've done nothing with. And like I said, we haven't seen Alba Fire Isla Dawn either. And they're legitimate tag teams.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So if you're not going to use them, then why have the belts?
And again, that's why they should have the NXT tag team title still, because that gives a little bit more opportunity and you can spread them out. I mean, if you're going to put Dom on 2 shows, then there's no reason you couldn't do that with the women.
True.
All the while, speaking of Dom.
No, we're talking about Sonya entering the women's tag team division. Stay on topic.
Yeah.
It's hard for him. I guess.
Anyway, the belts. They need to get rid of those jinx belts. There needs to be a reboot, man. A reboot. I mean,
well, after this, maybe there will be. Maybe the women are all going to stand in the office, all holding the belts, saying, "We're not touching them." Reboot. So, all right. Well, stick around. We got more to come. All right. When we come back, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to talk about the art of selling an injury in just a moment, right here on WrestleChat.
America's been drinking beer from a company that doesn't even know which restroom to use. That's why I created Conservative Dad's Ultra Right 100% woke-free beer. As conservatives, we're constantly getting hit in the face, left and right, by the woke mind virus. But the last place we want it is in our beer. If you know which bathroom to use, you know what beer you should be drinking. Stop giving money to woke corporations that hate our values. And to the rest of you woke corporations, stay the away from our kids.
Buy yours online in 42 states at ultrarightbeer.com.
Tastes like freedom.
And we're back. All right. Moving right along. Last time out here, we were talking about selling. And in particular, we were looking at a couple of the ladies. It was Shayna going up against, was it Liv?
No, it was Shayna and
No, it was, oh, shoot, who was it now? One of the newer talents on the roster in the ladies division. Anyway, we were showing how, it was, what's her name? Trisha's girlfriend there.
Oh, Zoe, yes.
Zoe, there you go, Zoe Stark. So we were showing the highlight from, or a moment from that match, I wouldn't call it a highlight, where Zoe's supposed to have a headlock on her, and it was the most pathetic excuse for a headlock. There was like about 6 inches gap around her arm and the neck, and there was nothing about it seemed right. It just really pulled back the curtain. Not that that hasn't already been done 100 times over, but when you're doing a live TV program and you might have a new viewer on, at least try to act like that shit's real. Okay.
Right.
They did a really poor job in that particular match of doing that. That all said, there's always two sides to a coin. And with that in mind, we're going to take a look at something that happened last night. It takes a lot for me to watch a spot nowadays and have a moment where I think, damn, that looks legit. Especially when you know it's not. Okay.
Right.
But that's where the talent has to take over. That's what happens there is when they step up and they put it together. So this took place backstage moments before the U.S. title match. And I get why it all went down the way it did, I'm sure. And more will probably come out in the next few days about it. But Santos Escobar is over here doing his promo leading into the title match that he's going to have against Austin Theory. We have removed the audio because that apparently is one of the big things that'll get you flagged and blocked and all that kind of stuff. So the video itself being a short increment should be perfectly fine, and we're going to do it anyway. So without audio, here comes Austin. The cameraman is shaking it a little bit, which gives a great effect. But watch the eyes of Santos here. He goes up, takes the bump, and now he's looking up at this guy like, you son of a bitch. But you can see in his eyes that he can't defend himself. Look at him.
Right.
And then the facial's coming up here. That looked legit. I know it was work, but it looked great. And he made that happen. Theory also. Theory was laying him in and made it look good. The camera jerking around. It all worked together, but that is how you make people believe it could be real. Even though we know it's not.
Yeah, just the look on Santos' face here, he had that look like he was out of it, and which he should have had that look, after taking those shots to the head and then trying to come to, and then there he sits up. Yeah, I mean, anybody who didn't know that was staged would have thought it was a legit injury.
Yes, if a new person turned that on, they would think, what the fuck? Mm-hmm. How did they let him get away with that? Where are the cops? All the stuff I used to say when I was 8, Gotta love newbies.
But to your point, that's the difference between what we talked about last time and this. If you're going to do a spot like this, you've got to make it believable.
Barely selling injury on TV. The post up on IG. What are we talking about here, Primetime? I thought he sold the shit out of this thing. And then he comes down the ramp. He's going to fight anyway, right? And he gets clipped in the back of the knee. And even that, he put that little wobble in the knee that looked like he could have got clipped legit.
Right.
It was so well done. And again, the reasoning is he and Ray had their match, 2 weeks ago now? Or is it last week?
It would have been,
I think it was 2 weeks ago.
2 weeks ago.
And Ray got legitimately hurt. They had to stop the match.
Right.
Well, Ray was supposed to win the match. So this is how they get
Yep.
Ray back on the title picture and get the title on Ray, which I think was the plan all along. And there you have it.
Right.
Honestly, I would have liked to see them switch gears and put it on him.
I think that's coming next. I think this is also going to set up as Santos going heel again. So it'll come down to him and Ray fighting for the US title.
Yeah, Primetime, it's funny you bring this up because that was kind of what I was thinking of while it was happening, is like this had that old school feel to it of somebody just getting an ass whooping in the back and selling it the way Dusty and the Horsemen always did when they had theirs. I remember Ric Flair beating Ricky Morton into the concrete in the locker room. All that stuff, man. It was just
right
when it was done the right way. So last time we came out here, we showed you what not to do. This is exactly what you should do if you're in the business, as they say. Much better than what we saw last time out here. All right, Purist, what do you got to say about the spot yesterday with Santos?
Priceless. Absolutely priceless. If anything, I'm more stunned of a book Fury here. I mean, Fury is he was the perfect chicken shit champion.
He will be again.
Hopefully.
Oh, yeah, please, give me a break. He's going to be a world champion. It's just a matter of when.
Yeah.
Right.
But
that's
honestly,
probably why they're moving the title off of him to start aiming him towards that title picture.
Yeah, I can see him going maybe Intercontinental title next. Obviously not from Gunther, but whoever takes it from Gunther at the end of the day, then Austin comes along and does his thing.
Hopefully Ilya.
Hey, who knows? We'll find out soon enough. I mean, at this point in time, we're kind of trending towards WrestleMania.
Yeah.
For the time being, we're going to Survivor Series. I hope they bring back the War Games.
They've already said they have plans for the War Games.
Good shit.
Yeah, they're definitely gonna do something with the War Games.
Well, we gotta get through Payback first, so.
Yeah, Payback's a bitch.
All right, stick around. We got one more to go, and we're pretty close to on time. Might be a couple minutes over, but we're doing all right. We'll be right back after this.
This morning, new details about 35-year-old Ashley Babbitt, who was shot and killed by a Capitol police officer.
We haven't talked about race. This was a whitewash.
A Fox 10 News alert out of Phoenix, where Republican Carrie Lake has filed an election-related lawsuit.
It was unprovoked, but this is what Russian President Vladimir Putin unleashed on Ukraine.
Today we witnessed the most evil and heinous abuse of power in the history of our country. A corrupt sitting president had his top political opponent arrested on fake and fabricated charges.
All right. God save the Queen, man.
And you can join me over on Rumble if you want to check out some of the political stuff we're doing over there. I'm a little overdue on putting a video up there, but lately I just haven't had anything to bite into. I mean, it's the same thing happening over and over and over again. You just keep getting indicted, except for the guy with the actual criminal history. So it's a unique time in our country's history. It's all I can say. All right, back to wrestling. And with that in mind, our final segment here is going to be regarding, I think, what we all knew would be. And that is the main feature on last night's program. For some reason, I have to actually click on the picture now to bring it up. I didn't used to have to do that. I don't know why that is. But anyway, Jey Uso and Jimmy Uso and Roman Uso, Reigns, pulled it off again, man. I'm looking at the story where it is, kind of where it's heading. And yeah, they're getting awfully close to jumping the shark right now. I, however, have a way of saving it and making it last much longer. And we'll figure more about that later in the week when I do my next live stream for the 2K23. But in the meantime, what they did last night wasn't bad. It took a while to get there, and I was starting to give up hope on it because I thought it was terrible until it wasn't.
Right.
So I know you said something. Jay sends me a message last night knowing I don't watch it live because I don't do commercials. So he said, I'm not going to tell you anything, but I have an opinion on what happened in the last part of the show. So go ahead. What you got?
Like you said, they took a long time to get to the payoff. And I was the same way. I'm sitting there, I'm watching it. I'm like, what the hell? And then Jimmy finally confronts Jay and he says, I did it for you. And I'm going, oh my God, here we go again. I did it for you.
For The Rock.
Right. And I'm just like, but then once he explained and, basically called, I don't want you to become an asshole like Roman Reigns. I'm like, okay, this I get because me and my brother kind of did something similar when we wrestled where I cost him a title match and I'm like, but I'm trying to keep you from becoming what I know you might become. And so it clicked with me. And it does make sense from a brother's point of view that you don't want them to go down a road that will be detrimental to them. So that I got. And then when Jay did what he did and said, I'm out of here. I'm out of the Bloodline. I'm out of SmackDown. I'm out of WWE. I'm like, what the fuck? At that point, I was like, okay, now you got my interest again because Jay is walking out of everything. So now I'm curious again to see where this is going to go.
So word on the street is it's going to go for a long time because they're trying to get Jimmy and Jay from Mania.
Right.
That's a long ways away. Let's presume they keep Jay off TV for at least 3 months.
Right.
Which is a long fucking time.
That puts you at what? Rumble?
Yeah. And then what is Jimmy doing now in the meantime? He's an island unto himself. He can't be with Roman because he basically told him, fuck you.
Well, I think Jay had his shot. Now I think Jimmy's going to get his shot at Roman because he's going to blame Roman about Jay walking out now.
Yeah. Doesn't anyone have to earn a title shot anymore?
No, not if it's all in the family.
God, I miss those days where you had to be in the top 10 and all that kind of crap. Remember that? When it actually meant something? Like if you were the U.S. champion, you were the next in line.
Right. Or Jimmy might go and start going after maybe the United States Championship in the meantime. And that means that opens up things for other guys who haven't had a shot LA Knight to go after Roman Reigns now.
I don't see them having LA Knight go after Roman because he wouldn't be beating Roman. And man, as much this is like Brian Danielson 2.0 over here, or Daniel Bryan 2.0.
Yeah.
They're ignoring the fans to the point where they can't ignore them anymore because the merch sales are over everybody else's, and his ratings 2 weeks in a row are the highest on the program.
Yeah.
And I'm saying it again, the highest over the Bloodline.
Yeah.
So y'all better fucking wake up.
I mean, yeah, I agree. They can't just feed him to Roman. But I'm saying there's guys on that roster now that they could do another AJ Styles. They could do a Karrion Kross go after Roman Reigns. That might be kind of interesting. Be different.
Yeah, but then what happens with the Bloodline storyline?
Maybe it's done.
They don't want that to end.
It could be put on pause, though, for the time being. People could think it's over, and then it heats back up at Royal Rumble. Jimmy and Jay both get in the Rumble, comes down to the two of them. One of them wins and goes to, or it's, there's possibilities that you can work if they're smart about it.
I agree that could work.
You could take a break for the next 3 months and let things cool for a little bit. And then all of a sudden, you've got Jimmy in the Rumble against somebody. And then number 30 comes out. It's Jay. and one of them eliminates one, and then the third person that's in the ring eliminates the other one, and then that sets up them two to go against each other at Rumble, and maybe it's Cody who eliminates them, and goes on to fight Roman, or LA Knight eliminates him at Rumble and goes on to fight.
Yeah, Cody has to fight Roman. I mean, he has to get that win to make up for last year. I mean, we'll see about that, I guess. All right. Purist, come on back in, man. We're under the gun. We got about 2 minutes. So what do you got on the Jey Uso and the Bloodline from yesterday?
First of all, if you know what this means, then you should know.
Yeah, deuces.
No. This is the victory sign. This means stick it up your ass. This is something that Churchill did once.
In Europe, it does. In America, if we were going to do that, we'd have one less finger.
Okay. Anyway, a good promo. Really good promo. But I must say, what surprised me the most was Jimmy going all, I didn't do this because I was jealous or anything. I was afraid of you becoming that piece of shit over there. I mean, if he's what?
Focus on what you're saying, buddy. Yeah. Let me take care of the screen.
How can I focus if I cover my face?
Just look at the camera and speak.
Yeah. Still, now this leaves a lot of questions as to what will happen to Jey now. I mean, could he come back before the Rumble? Maybe he comes back as a surprise participant in the Survivor Series for reasons, whatever. But I'd like to see a Jimmy versus Jey match at WrestleMania. I mean, boy, I must say, when Roman won the title back at WrestleMania this year, I thought, shit, we're fucked now. But now, if this was Vince, I must say, you're a fucking genius.
I will never say writing like this is Vince.
We have
never.
This. No. We have this. I don't care. We have this. I mean, this is perfect. I mean, yeah.
I think the jury is still out on that. We'll have to give it a little more time to find out how perfect it really is.
Right.
So, all right. Well, thank you, Purist, for being with us here. We're going to wrap this up in a second. I'll say this. They got to do more build for me to give a shit about Jimmy versus Jey, okay? But I get it. It was just, putting the first bricks down on the foundation, more to come. But if you're really going to put him on the back burner for like 2 to 3 months to write him off, I don't know, man. You can't always just start a fire back up.
Hey, here's something. Just because he's not in WWE don't mean you can't do vignettes of him at home talking to his father about everything that's going on. That would be something. Bring Rikishi in that way.
Well, the rumor now is that Rikishi is going to be a special guest referee in an upcoming match.
Oh, okay.
Now, is that Mania? Is that Survivor? Who knows? But again, the rumor mill right now and the people that kind of have an ear to the ground, that's what they're saying. So it could be interesting. I'll say this. On these last two 2K things that I've put up, which are not the usual type, they're like clipped up highlights, stuff like that. The one match out of all the ones that I had simmed for those 2 different cards between Jimmy and Jey was a really good fucking match. I might put that whole thing up in its entirety. It was done really well. So I'm like, well, if that's a sign, then maybe this is going to be a good feud, because the game made it one of the better ones that I've had all year. It had a little bit of everything. It was a back and forth, and just when you thought you knew, you didn't know, and there's injuries being sold before and after. It's like, damn, once in a while they can get it right. But I also have a massive glitch that took place in a match earlier on the same night, and I'll be showing that as well because I had to cut it out. It was by far the most egregious glitch I've ever dealt with in 2K23. And I accidentally thought I put in 2K20. That's how bad it was. And when you see it, you'll understand why. Oh, my goodness. Prime time, my brother from another mother. I beg your pardon, Infrared, my brother from another mother, made it in here tonight. Thank you for being here, buddy. Appreciate you, as always. All right. Well, that I think is going to about wrap up another Wrestle Chat. Just a reminder, guys, I'm off this week, so I'm going to have a lot of extra time that I don't normally have during the week. And if you want to join us, we're definitely going to do an At the Movies. I'm not sure what movie yet, but we've got a whole bunch of them here to choose from. If you want to join us when we do that, hit me up on Twitter, X, whatever the hell they call it nowadays. They still call it Twitter, but it's X. Come on, man. Sometimes you have just too much money. Anyway, hit me up there and let me know you're interested, and then I will send you the invite the same time I send it to Jay, and you can join us, and we can watch a movie together. You have to bring your own popcorn, though. I ain't providing. Oh, right.
We don't take no Skittles no more, though.
What's wrong with Skittles?
Oh, you ain't seen all the packaging for it now?
I guess I haven't. What am I missing?
Oh, they went woke big time.
Well, they've already been a rainbow all these years. I mean, how woke can they get? Chase the rainbow.
Oh, go look at their packaging now.
Well, that's all right. I never ate that shit anyway. I didn't like it. All right. Well, with that said, we're going to wrap this up for another exciting edition of Wrestle Chat. I had a good time, as always. Say goodnight, Jay.
Good night, Jay.
Good night, everyone. We'll catch you next time for more Wrestle Chat.